Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. Today we're going to be VOD reviewing an Ana in Diamond 3 on King's Row. They write, just getting back into Overwatch after a break. I was Masters back in Season 8. The game was really close, and it likely came down to a final overtime fight. Rewording what they write just to not spoil anything. I'm rusty, so my reaction speed still isn't the best, but if you have any other tips, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's dig into this here. So this is our Ana. They're staring at Mercy's toes. Their name is Mercy's toes, so I made sure to start the VOD here. All right, skipping ahead now. All right, this is our full team. We're still staring at them. Okay, good. All right, so we've got double hit scan. So Mercy can pocket the hit scan. That means Ana pockets the tank. That's kind of the division of labor here. So I think Ana can work well in this situation. You've got a nano target with the soldier, maybe the tank, and they don't have anything to cleanse your anti. So your anti should feel pretty strong here if you land good ones. All right. Let's dig into the game. Good sleep dart. Oh. So yeah, in terms of reaction time, if you got that I need healing out, maybe your Mercy reacts a little bit quicker and then you don't die right away, but because you've got a Mercy, you're getting rezzed. That was a good sleep on the Sombra though.
Thank you, Angela.
So, okay, you know the Sombra is behind you. What I would suggest doing is, like, play over here, if you can. Or at least over, like, here by the health pack. So then that way, if the Sombra does dive you again, which they likely might, you can fall into the health pack or make the Sombra kind of come out maybe a little further than they want to, and then hopefully the Cassidy will peel for you. Like, as if you're standing here, Sombra's got a long way to go back to get to you. Granted, you're not totally sure where they are, but it felt like you kind of had an idea where they were, and you were right assuming that idea, if I'm reading the fact that you had that idea correctly. So if you're over here, Cassidy might be able to peel for you a little bit. Or you could even maybe play behind the car, using this as cover against the people in that archway. And then if the Sombra tries to get you, hopefully the Cassidy peels for you. Because this is really going to be, it's either going to be all about them peeling for you when you get dove, or how good are your mechanics on defending yourself when you get dove. Your sleep there was pretty good, so I'm guessing your mechanics are pretty good, but time will tell, I suppose. And just as I say that, you missed 2 out of 3 shots there.
Much better.
See, like, you're allowing yourself to get poked at by the Sombra, and now you're getting a little distracted. So now you move into that health pack area, the one of the spots I suggested. So now you should feel cozy in your little nook area there. And maybe you can kind of get back on track a little bit. I wasn't looking at your ammo counter. You had 5. I don't know that you need to reload on 5 in this scenario. If you still had it, if you threw like 2 to the Cassidy and 3 to the tank in that order, this fight might not be a complete loss. But because you had to wait on that reload, the Cassidy died. It was a good pick. You tracked the Sombra well, and that right there is actually a really good example of why jumping when you're in a firefight with somebody isn't the best way to be, quote-unquote, like hard to hit, because you can track that easier than if they're going back and forth really quickly or something like that. So positioning wise, you're standing in a spot that's allowing the Sombra to harass you again. Whereas I think if you would have went back into that little area with the mini health pack, you would have been a little safer. And you would have been able to not have to worry about the Sombra as much. So like right here, you get like a health shot off on the Cassidy, but like if you just immediately, when you re-engaged the fight, went more this direction and then did it over here, and then if you got poked, you could go back into here again, I think you would have been completely fine back here. Maybe you get into a little bit of a duel with the Cassidy from over here, but I think the Sombra might still harass you back here, but it's going to take her a little bit longer to engage you, and you've got a little bit of cover, some extra health that you would have back here. That's probably what I would be doing. Now your team's not getting healed and you're staring at a Sombra, and you're forced to take some really tough shots to even contest and force the Sombra backwards. So at this point, your team just needs to regroup now. And you gotta kind of get yourself into a position here where you're not being harassed by flankers so easily, because that's really affecting your team's ability to last in a fight and actually make the fight go for a bit. That was good. Heal your tank, heal your tank. Oh, that was a gutsy peek you just did there.
Hello there, Hello.
Okay, so now you should stay on point, stay on point. Yeah, if I were you, I would have just stayed on point that whole time there. Just let it cap, get the point. Oh my god. Dude, you walked off a point twice and it stopped, and look how much is left. That is 100% on you. That's insane. Sombra was able to retake that point like that. That's incredible. Wow.
60 seconds.
Yeah, this is why you just stay on point and get it. I mean, or at least when you get off, make sure somebody else is on it so it's at least still ticking forward. If you stayed on that, 100% you'd have the cart right now. Every time you're being flanked, you're being completely taken out of the fight.
Objective A captured.
It's hard to tell if this is a mechanics issue or if it's like your team just not peeling enough for you. Right? It could be a little bit of both.
I have you. Keep fighting. I'm under attack. Kudos for trying, Wayne. I'm here. Keep fighting.
Don't really like that sleep dart. You kind of just yeeted it forward hoping it would hit something. You've got some pretty easy sleep dart targets here with Doomfist, because I mean they don't have a shield, so make sure you're saving those for some more solid shots. Now nobody's on the cart right now. I would say it should be you pushing forward. So, alright, let's talk about that for a second. So, both of you leave the cart. That's the first no-no. I would not advise that, but if Zen has ult, he should be the one pushing up with the team, but because he doesn't, you should be the one pushing up with the team. So I don't really like that Zen's pushing here. He's not going to keep these guys all alive on his own unless he has trance. And it's not necessarily what you want to use trance on, but you know, Zen probably will bring more value to holding this area with trance than what you would, but he doesn't have trance, so he should stay on the cart in my mind. You should be the one pushing up. But I don't really want to see both of you guys leaving where the cart stops. However, since they nano blade and you don't have trance to defend yourselves against that, didn't really matter if you guys got off the cart or not because it was going to stall anyway.
I'm not finished.
Somebody needs to go Kiriko. They've got Ana, you have Roadhog. You've got Nano, so Zen almost has Trance. So I would say after ultimates get used, somebody should be going Kiriko.
You're powered up. Get in there. Taking care of you.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Meteor strike.
60 seconds. I keep you up.
Yeah, I suppose that actually is a good landing spot because you guys got Roadhog. First I was a little surprised by that, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this right there is why you need Kiriko. Those antis are gonna start hitting and they're gonna get felt if they get thrown at opportune times. That one they're not so opportune, but yo, Cassidy, what are you doing? Cassidy just, I don't know if he walked off or rolled off, but yikes. Okay, so keep in mind, you guys are down one right now, so I hope you guys don't make like a really hard push here, and I hope ultimates don't get used, at least until all of you guys are in the fight again. Let them use ults, you're down one, that's fine.
The Iron Forest watches over you.
Roadhog, get out.
No recovery.
Alright. I kind of feel like that fight was already lost, so the fact that they used EMP there should benefit you guys. However, we need a Kiriko.
Don't fret. I see you.
Activated self-destruct sequence.
Step rider.
All systems on optimal level.
Stand up straight.
Like that Echo just died because of the anti.
I have you. Keep fighting.
Bob, do something!
You're powered up. Get in there.
30 seconds.
No anti, or no cleanse for the anti there, kills the Roadhog. Ideally, I think I would want the Zen to be the one going Kiriko, but at this point, we just need somebody on Kiriko.
I'm here. Keep fighting.
Okay, good. Now we got it. This might be too late. Yeah, it is too little, too late.
Help me. Nodding off. وليهم قوتك.
So, anybody that ever says team comp doesn't matter in metal ranks, diamond even, this is an example of why it does matter, because you guys needed the cleanse. Cleanse would have definitely helped quite a bit here.
Score.
I didn't specifically see anything you were doing wrong on Ana once the cart got moving through the second point and into the third. The only thing that really drew my attention was you guys just not having the utility your team needs. Some of that could have gone on the Roadhog, and the Roadhog could have swapped. I mean, they did have Diva, and they were going up against Ana. So you could say that the tank should have swapped. But if the tank isn't swapping for whatever reason, then at that point it falls on either support to go Kiriko. In terms of team comp here, okay, we're running Kiriko now, so that's good. The only thing that worries me now is that you've got Nanoblade to worry about, and you guys aren't really running anything to deal with Nanoblade unless you land a really top tier sleep dart, or the Hog hooks the Genji and then the Genji just gets hit in a bunch of different directions all at once. Aside from that, it's gonna, well, I mean, there's EMP and hack. I suppose that could maybe fall into your guys' favor too, potentially. But the point I'm getting at is maybe running like Zen or Lucio with Kiriko could maybe be a better play here. But let's see how this goes. Because you guys don't really have a good nano target here. Like, obviously you can nano Roadhog and you can nano Cassidy or something, but those aren't like the world's greatest of nano targets, you know what I mean? Okay, good, we got the cleanse. You're just gonna have, yeah, you're gonna have to heal. Alright, so the fact that they're Maga, like, it turns you into a heal bot. Unfortunately, this is the mechanic that Maga brings to the game that everybody's complaining about when there's a Maga in the game. When you've got a tank like Maga going up against Maga, so in this case Roadhog, Roadhog is going to suck up so much damage, it's going to turn you and the Kiriko, frankly, into a heal bot. It's just what this game will be. The other problem I'm seeing is that your DPS aren't really equipped to deal with a Maga, so this Maga is going to live forever. So you're going to have to get some really good antis off on him to get him low enough to die. It's just what Maga is, unfortunately. And this is coming from a guy who loves to play Lucio, and when I'm up against Maga, I usually can't make it work. I usually have to go some kind of a heal bot tank because my tanks will want to kind of brawl the Maga. It's not really what you should do against Maga, by the way. The proper way to play against a Maga, if you're not willing to go Maga back, is to go dive and dive the supports around the Maga, and then the Maga dies afterwards. That's the best way to go about it. But if your team doesn't do that, like your team's not doing, then it starts going into a war of attrition of healing your tank versus their tank, and, you know, eventually one of them is gonna die. So interesting that they got off Maga for the Zarya to go Reinhardt. So now your Zarya is playing into another counter. So this might be rough for you guys again. Interestingly enough, though, the Rein died right away. He did kind of just dive in and feed. If he keeps doing that, then the Zarya pick will continue to work. If they start to regroup and go in together, then you're going to be on the weaker end of the tank battle again. The one thing I will say is if you can find the time to do it, to try to go up and take high ground at some point rather than playing low ground here, playing like the windows that are above you. But I don't know that you're going to have the time because they're basically in the enemy spawn here. And I hate when people do this. Going this deep into the enemy spawn is too risky. The length of a walk back, if one of your guys gets picked versus if you pick one of them, is so astronomically different. I just hate that this is a thing where it's like, oh, let's walk into their spawn. So here's the Nanoblade I was just talking about. So like, if you don't land a really solid sleep dart, we lost the Sombra. There's nothing else. It's really just that. So you're the only line of defense really here against Nanoblade. You have to land a good sleep dart and you missed it. That's a mechanic that a really good Ana can do. I am not a really good Ana. Ana's like probably my second least played support in this game, just above Mercy. But I play next to a lot of really good Anas, and the really good ones, they can sleep Genji. So that might be something to practice like in a custom game or something like that. I know there's custom games out there that, you know, allow for like different kinds of aim training and stuff like that, and practicing your sleep dart for something like that, so that you can land those a little bit more consistently. If you're really trying to be like an Ana player, would probably benefit you.
I'm with you. I'm here. Keep fighting.
Step Rider.
Good anti.
Get in there.
Yeah, that's sleep dart again.
Enough whining.
That's probably the one ability you're not getting great value out of at the moment, is your sleep dart. Like, your antis are pretty good.
Covering you. I am unbreakable.
Like, that was, again, that was another good anti as far as I could tell.
Healing you.
I'm really feeling the heat.
Sword for your wounds. Getting drowsy?
There's a good sleep. Your tank's pushing up and everybody else is falling back. It's, oh boy. See, this right here is another example of overextending on defense will cause you to lose the game. By the time your Zarya gets back, this point will probably be lost. I think it will be, unless you guys end up getting some really good picks here. And but ultimately it's not worth it. Like, it's okay if fights go a little long. You're trying to just soak up as much time as possible, because yeah, now this is a completely lost fight, and we're dedicating ultimates to it.
Get in there.
Oh, we're double dedicating ultimates to. Why are we nanoing Cassidy here when he's got a full Rhine shield right in front of him? This is not the time to be nanoing Cassidy. If the whole team was together, then maybe, but not just Cassidy by himself. You got Zarya back now, but Zarya's got no charge.
I won't let you fall.
I'm actually a little surprised you guys were able to hold this by the time the Zarya got back. I didn't think Zarya would come back in time. That surprises me just a little bit. Double Kiriko ultimate. Oh, there's the sleep dart I was talking about. Very good, very good. Oof. But even with that, it wasn't enough.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Is that justice? Justice delivered.
Careful where you're standing. You're taking a lot of unnecessary damage here.
I'm in aim. La.
On my way.
Getting
Step
drowsy.
Rider.
Good sleep. The one thing I don't understand is why is your tank staying Zarya here? This is not the interact. Like, your tank is just not playing into a good enemy team comp. I don't know.
Get in there. I am unbreakable. Stand up straight.
I don't know what that Kiriko ultimate was, but
Let's kick
notice
this
your
off.
aim on that last fight getting a little shaky. I feel like you're feeling a little bit of the pressure.
Negative.
My ultimate is charging.
Careful, don't get picked here. Feel your Kiriko.
Watch your back.
Enough whining.
I was about to say, you saw your Kiriko get hit by that grenade. You just used all your abilities into nothing. I just wanted to point that out. I would have definitely probably held on to both. That nade was a little bit of a difficult throw. Not impossible, but it was a difficult one. And then you kind of yeeted your sleep dart in. But that's been a commonality I've noticed in a lot of these fights is you kind of just throw your sleep dart out there and just hope something gets hit by it. The other thing I want to throw out there is, say that sleep dart you just did, say it did hit something, they were going to just get woken right back up again because your Zarya would have just hit them. You know, like that sleep dart would have been better suited for probably where you threw the nade, trying to hit somebody more in the back if you were really going to do it. Otherwise, like waiting for, you know, the Reinhardt to get nanoed in this case, and then as he starts swinging, then you hit him with the sleep dart and use up some of that nano time while he slept, hoping that some of your teammates don't wake him up. But with that being said, really wish your tank would swap. Okay, get out of there now. Get out of there. Good kill, but yeah, you gotta get out of there as soon as that Rhine gets slept. Work some kind of angle so that it's not just, let me just beeline parallel to the wall and kill the Ana, because that's kind of what happened there.
One of these days I'll end up in Fiji. I'm here. Keep fighting. I appreciate the support.
That's where you needed your sleep dart, the high noon. Alt tracking.
I appreciate.
Where did you, I didn't even notice where did you throw it? Oh, you tried to hit the Reinhardt.
I appreciate the support.
Yeah, this definitely is where you needed your sleep dart. I mean, it would have been one thing, like, if you slept the Rhine and then you guys killed him or something. It would be hard to kind of poke at that, but you missed entirely. So, alt tracking a little bit more, and then knowing when to save your sleep dart, as opposed to just shooting it at the first sign of something could have been beneficial there. The other thing I want to say is, you've been playing down here quite a bit, and I'm a little curious why you don't go this way and play up here a little bit more. It would kind of put you in a safer spot, as opposed to like the Rhine pressuring you, and maybe giving you better sight lines to throwing sleep darts and your antis and stuff like that. How is there still 35 seconds left of this?
I have you. Keep fighting. You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, as soon as you nano Doomfist, if I were you, I would try to move over to that spot I was just talking about, over by the windows. Because then you're relatively safe from any battle that's still going on over here. And if somebody dies, gets picked off, you could always ploop down and start contesting yourself when you need to.
أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا.
Good pick.
Not the last.
Again, you kind of just throw out an ability and hope that it lands. Man, I wish your tank was playing a better tank. I feel like your tank has been kind of on the raw end of the hero choices quite a bit here on defense. Their Zarya wasn't bad, but it just, they're playing it into counters. Hold on. You reloaded at 3. You maybe could have held that and just got those final shots off. Good anti. But yeah, your Tracer needed to just be pocketed there as opposed to DPSing. If the Tracer's full HP, then you can DPS, but until then, get your Tracer full until, you know, so then that way they can contest. But I think if you played over by those like mid-ground windows, you might have been a little bit more valuable there. Ultimately, I think your mechanics could have used a little bit of work. Your aim, sometimes good, sometimes not good. There were a few times where your aim did not look diamond level at all. You did land a really good sleep dart on the Genji, but you missed some really easy sleep darts, and your choice and timings of when you're using sleep dart didn't feel very advantageous to the team, even had they have landed when you shot them. So I'll say abilities. Just your general use of abilities, like your antis were pretty good for the most part. You had one anti toward the end. It didn't hit anything, and I'm actually not sure why it didn't. It looked like it was going to hit the Bastion and somebody else. I think, I don't know. I forget who it was, but there was some other squishy right next to the Bastion you threw. It was right at it was on the 3rd point defense for you. So like there were a couple grenades like that didn't hit, that I'm not really sure why they didn't, but for the most part, your antis were hitting all right, but the sleep darts didn't feel, that they got much value to the team. 3, I'm going to just say team comp. When you guys were attacking, your tank played into a lot of bad counters throughout the game. But with that being said, the Roadhog, I think, could have worked if he was being supported properly, and he wasn't. Typically, I probably would have said the Zen should have went Kiriko, and they eventually did, but it was 3 seconds left, so it was like too little too late. But somebody should have went Kiriko a lot sooner than when the Roadhog eventually was given the Kiriko. So the team comp, and then also going against the Nano Genji, when you've got Kiriko defending a tank that doesn't have a shield that might get antied, but they've already been showing that they might go Genji, you know, because you were getting hit by Genji pretty much from the beginning by flankers. Having a defensive ultimate for some of that might be the better route to go, as opposed to hoping you can just sleep dart Nano Genji. So like a Lucio beat drop, a Zenyatta trance, something like that. So like Lucio or Zen next to Kiriko might have been a better value play in that situation. And then last but not least, I'll say POS for positioning. We talked about it as we saw it, about where I would have been standing at a few different times, you know, where maybe you could have gotten yourself a little bit better value, that kind of a thing. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.